another episode of Stoppage Time FC. We got our main man Trav here running the show. He's a happy camper. Liverpool had a good game today. They qualified. They went completely perfect in the group. So how you feeling, Trav?
Man, I watched soccer a little bit here and there, but I got to know that they was playing a particular team, and I actually watched the whole game, and we pulled a hat out, we pulled a rabbit out in sort of ways, but I enjoyed it, man. I'm gonna keep enjoying it, keep keeping up, man. The more I get into it, the more I learn. So, and I got these guys here with me to help me out, so I can't go wrong right now, man.
Yeah.
Liverpool, man, we doing our thing right now.
It's always nice to when you can sit and watch a game that means absolutely nothing when it comes to qualification and things like that, because you kind of see the beauty of teams when they're at their most relaxed. Um, Now I know Joe also didn't. This game didn't matter for him. It did not quite go the way that they had intended, I don't think. Um, but if you would have listened to the announcers during that Man City game, you would have thought they missed out on qualifying for the Champions League.
We're
But
we're terrible according to these announcers, man.
man, that was brutal. Joe, how are you tonight, man?
I'm just so disappointed because we finished top of the group already, even though we lost today. It's just a big deal. Like we were talking while I was watching the game, and we already qualified top of the group. So this for us meant nothing as far as standings goes. But the announcers kept acting like this was such a big deal that they were losing, and it was a completely different fixture from the first time that Leipzig and City played, where we won 6-3. And of course, it's a completely different fixture because we know for sure that we are already through. And
Yeah, they
Leipzig
needed this match.
they needed points to continue playing European football in the Europa
Yep.
League. So clearly, it meant more to them. We only got to see one of our young guns get on for the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, which was a little disappointing. And I was hoping to see more of our young talent get some run. That's why I was looking forward to the most to watch with City today was our young guys who are super talented and playing really well in our developmental squad. But we took the L's today. Leipzig did what they needed to do. And it's unfortunate. Big takeaway for us, at least, is Kyle Walker got a straight red, so he is going to be out for our first leg of the next round. So whoever we end up facing in the knockout stages, we'll be missing our starting right back, which I didn't really think it was a straight red. Some of the Man City fans that I was talking to said it was. I don't see it as a straight red. He just straight kicked out at a guy and knocked him to the ground, but ref called it. It is what it is. So we move on. We are on top of our group, and it is
Is
what
he
it
only
is.
out? Is he only out for the first leg, or is he out for both legs?
From what I was looking at today, and I will not confirm this as the gospel was, it was just the first match. I think it's just one game. It's not a double penalty where you're missing both. But I will do some more digging to make sure that is the 100% truth.
Not that it really matters. But quick recap for those. We had match day 6 for half of the groups in the Champions League. Man City ended up winning their group. PSG finished second. Leipzig, who beat City today, did progress to the Europa League by finishing in third. So Club Rouge did not advance. Group B, Trav's Liverpool team completed the unbeaten run, taking 6 wins from 6 matches. So obviously they qualified. In a absolute shit show of a match, Atletico and Porto. It was a highly contested match because the winner was going to qualify for the Champions League, and the loser was going to go to the Europa League. But it was a match that saw 3 straight reds, 2 of which to players, 1 to a coach, and it was dreadful. Although I will say that I didn't think Yannick Carrasco's straight red was really a red. And then again, I don't know if Wendell's straight red was really a straight red. But
So you're saying an official was feeling himself and trying to show them who was boss?
Honestly, I think at that point the match was so far gone that he didn't have a choice. I have no issues with the way that he handled it. It was just the fact that it was so highly contested and so tense that once the first red came out, and it spiraled from there.
Which it often does.
Yeah, the shocker of Group B was that Milan, who is currently leading the Serie A, did not qualify. They are not playing European football, and this is the first time they haven't qualified for the Champions League knockouts since I think 2013, which is
I think I saw it was like 7 years was the last time they failed to do that, and they only were one match. They had 4 losses in the group stage, which is not what they were expecting.
No. And I know that they've had some injuries and they've dealing with that, but you can't finish fourth in that group. Now, whether or not it was a group of death, as some called it, I don't know. But I was thoroughly shocked to see Milan finish fourth.
And with Liverpool going undefeated, that was the first time an English club has done that through the group stage. So kudos to your squad there, Trav. That was the first time any English team has accomplished that in all the years of the Champions League. So that's a tip of the cap right there.
It's going to be a shame when they end up pissing it away next round.
Be quiet, man.
That hurt my heart a little bit. That hurt my heart a little bit to say that too. Credit where credit is due.
Yeah. Yep. Jurgen Klopp did do a wonder class there. In Group C, we had the Cinderellas of the Champions League, I will say this year, Ajax, who also completed a unbeaten run, 6 wins from 6 matches. And arguably they did it better than what Liverpool did, but Liverpool had tougher opponents. So, I mean, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Sebastian Haller. Sebastian Haller is right now, he's my man of the tournament. That could change, but he is, since moving from West Ham to Ajax, he's been a man possessed and he looks really, really good. Dortmund, Jerry. You're going to the Europa League, brother. Thursdays are going to get real busy for you.
Not ideal if you're trying to hang on to Mr. Erling Haaland.
Which is not happening.
No. Not
happening at all.
And circle back real quick on Sebastian. He I saw a stat. He and Lewandowski, he's matched the should-be Ballon d'Or winner, Mr. Robert. And
we're not doing this right now.
And scored in every match in the group stage. So I think 100% he's the man of the tournament so far.
Lewandowski's about to put on a clinic tomorrow.
I cannot wait to watch that game.
And rounding out the matches today was Group D, which is the group that had Real Madrid, Inter Milan, Shakhtar Donetsk, and none other than Sheriff Tiraspol.
Sheriff.
Little club from, Transylvania or some weird ass place. Like they don't even have a sponsor, if that tells you anything. And they there for a while they were looking like they were going to qualify. Didn't quite do it. They're going to head to the Europa League after finishing third. The Real Madrid Inter match also saw a straight red from Nico Barella, I do believe. He got they were running down the sideline, him and cannot remember who it was, but he put a little hip check into him, and Barella, tiny little Italian guy that he is, went flying into the boards, got up and decided to straight swing. Now he only hit his kneecap because he's so short, but it resulted in a straight red for him, and that was the story for that match. I think if they had won that match, they would have won top of the league, but they ended up losing to Madrid and therefore finished second. So
you'll be correct.
Tomorrow you have Group E, F, G, and H. Group E is Bayern, who is currently on an unbeaten run, 5 wins from 5 matches. And they play Barcelona, who is currently sitting in second. But Benfica, who's sitting in third and plays Dynamo Kiev, who have not won a match yet, only sit 2 points behind. So if Barcelona does not draw or win against Bayern and Benfica beat Dynamo Kiev, you will see the likes of Barcelona playing Thursdays in the Europa League, which for a club that's already bankrupt, not a good look, my friend.
Not a good look at all. So they're going to need a result, at least a tie, and hopefully a better, keep the goal differential above Benfica.
And
but to secure,
and,
they're going to have to beat Bayern just to make sure to be certain, and that is no easy task, especially with what we alluded to a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Lewandowski's pissed.
He is not happy, nor is the rest of that club about that decision with the old Ballon d'Or, the snub.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be a very fun. There's already been some sniping in the media from both sides, so that is going to be a very entertaining game.
Ronnie said the NIT of Europe.
That's exactly right,
and that is 100% correct.
And somehow Barcelona has at least $45 million to shell out to Man City for Ferran Torres, even though
I don't understand it. They somehow want Pulisic and Ziyech and Timo Werner somehow. Where they're going to get that $200 million, I don't know. Unless it's with loan with obligation to buy. Trav, I don't know if you can see my name.
Yes,
on here,
I see it.
But I just wanted to let it be known that I will be properly representing my guy if indeed Liverpool come knocking. You think the Ben Simmons what the Sixers want for Ben Simmons is bad? just saying, he ain't going to Merseyside.
Come on over
now.
Come on over to the dark red and black side, man. We need you, man.
Nope.
Yes, sir.
That ain't happening. But you can watch him tomorrow because I would wager to say he will probably start that match tomorrow.
Okay.
But we'll get to that group in a second. Group F tomorrow is Man United, Villarreal, Atalanta, and BSC Young Boys from Switzerland. And technically, well, BSC Young Boys would need a miracle in order for that to happen. They're technically eligible to qualify on points, but I don't know who they play.
They're playing Man United.
Oh yeah, no, that ain't happening. Because their goal differential is -5 right now, so they'd have to put up a very crooked number on Man United. But
so
Atalanta. That Villarreal and Atalanta match is a
winner goes through to the knockout stages, and the loser goes to the Europa.
Which we all know, Unai Emery.
That's Villarreal's jam right there.
Good evening.
Europa.
If you ever want to watch someone when they do press conferences, Trav, go look up Unai Emery and his good evening. His V's are B's, so it's always good evening.
Oh God! Come on, man! Come on, man!
It's quite great. I like it quite much, and it's our boy Ronnie's. It's his boy, ex-Arsenal manager.
You have to send me that. You have to send me that.
Oh yeah, I got you. I
can see what that is.
Group G tomorrow is Lille, RB Salzburg, Sevilla, and Wolfsburg in a 100% wide open group. Every single one is still eligible to qualify.
Wolfsburg could still win the group, even though they're in 4th place with a big win.
Are they? So, who do they have tomorrow?
They have Lille, so they got win and win big. But
I mean that'll directly affect their goal differential for both of them. So that'll be big for them.
This whole group is wide open, and all of them have been very evenly matched games because everyone's goal differential is like Lille, Salzburg, Sevilla are all at 1 goal differential. So, and then Wolfsburg had one bad thing. They had like one game where they got whooped a little bit. So they're a -3. but this group is wide open.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't your other team Sevilla?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you got some stake in that game. Sevilla's running off of 3 straight draws. They need points.
A lot.
They need. Well, I mean, they could still win the group if they beat Salzburg and Wolfsburg win. But it's going to be interesting to see how that goes down. And then Group H is the final group. The 2 teams are already qualified. That can actually all 3 teams that are qualified can qualify. It just depends on who finishes first and who finishes second. Zenit, who Chelsea play, will take the 3rd spot, even with a loss. And if somehow Juve lose to Malmo, which isn't going to happen because Malmo's goal differential is -12 right now. So they're not walking through that door.
No.
But Chelsea and Juve both sit on 12 points. They each have 1 loss to each other. And right now, Chelsea would advance on goal differential as the winner of the group if they both carry the same result. So,
and it's a pretty substantial lead with the goal differential. You guys have a 6-goal lead on them, so it would have to be a massive win from Juve if you guys both won.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because 2 draws sees us through.
Yep.
They need, in order to win the group, they need a win and a win big.
I'm sitting in somewhat of a good seat right now, so I'm happy.
You are sitting in the king seat, and right now, like other than Group G, the English teams are actually sitting really well as far as teams that they can draw in the next round.
I was just looking at that. It's funny that you mentioned that.
I was as we were going through the groups, I was looking. I was like, okay, they can draw them, they can't draw them, because the stipulations for the draw is Monday, Trev. So the stipulation is that the winners will face a team that plays second. But the caveats to that is you can't play the team that finished second in your group initially. So like for your team, you cannot draw Atletico Madrid next round since you played them in the groups. And you also cannot draw any English team if they finish second.
You got to play somebody else.
Correct.
Like they G can't play the second place of G, but yet you can't play any other English group in the whole pool. You got to play like B second place, which is like somewhere else.
So it doesn't look like that's going to happen anyway, because right now all English teams are leading. But for whatever reason, we'll say that no, it's not going to happen because
you're trying to find a scenario.
Man United is literally the only chance that they would have to draw if somehow they finish second. If Villarreal beat Atalanta and had a higher goal differential, if Man United loses, then Man United will finish second. But even then, you cannot draw. You can't draw them in that round. So usually it's better. It actually helped Chelsea last year that they finished second because a lot of English teams won their league, and it kind of limited who we could draw in the rounds. Now that goes out the window after this round.
Okay.
Once we hit the quarterfinals, all bets are off. You can play whoever you
want. Whoever match up, whoever
you
get, you got to go in.
And you'll see the entire bracket on Monday. So what they do is they'll draw, right? I think so, right? Do they draw the entire bracket or do they do it again?
I think they do it again. So after the round of 16, that's when they release like the full-on bracket for the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then at the quarterfinals, you will see the entire rest of the bracket. So you will know exactly who you will match up with if you progress in the rounds past that.
Yep. That's when we started looking at it last year when that came out, because we saw both of our clubs were on opposite sides of that last bracket. So we were like, hey, could it happen? Oh, hey.
It did happen.
It did happen. And we got a guest
Yes,
And
sir.
Just jog
Come
my
to join
memory
us.
before
Nope.
Ronnie jumps on here.
Nope. I will not jog
Just
your
jog my memory.
Nope.
Who won that match?
Nope. Nope.
Trav, do you know who won that match?
I want Joe to tell you who won it, man.
I think if I make Joe tell me, he won't speak to me the rest of the night.
Big Shot, what's going on?
It matches the color of my G Fuel right now.
That it does.
I was just waiting until y'all finish talking about Champions League because I can't relate to that subject. I can't relate to that. I don't know what that is, a foreign competition. I mean,
Bravo, sir.
Well, in good spirits. Good evening.
good evening.
I got to see that. I have to see that, man.
I'll shoot you the link, man. It's good.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. I have been listening to everything y'all been saying. Bayern, if Bayern got to run it up on Barcelona tomorrow,
They're gonna put 30 past them.
30. No.
Well,
and Lou is going to have at least 5.
I hope he does.
30.
I hope he does. Sorry, Diego. I know that hurts the heart, but nothing personal. The last time that I think the last 3 matches that Bayern and Barcelona have played
It's not been pretty either.
have been a combined like 26-3 or something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah.
And Bayern has maintained their form, and Barcelona has lost a lot since those games a year or 2 ago. So it's hopefully not pretty.
8-2.
That was bananas.
Quarterfinal matchup, and you get drubbed 8-2.
8-2. Yikes.
8-2 is like for our new folks. If this was American football, think of somebody losing 41-10 in the NFC Championship game.
Just getting smacked.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what's that? Michigan and Iowa State. What's that? 42-3 or something.
Yeah.
Similar.
That's a drum.
Similar.
It's a drum.
You gotta bring up old shit, don't you? Here we go. I thought we were gonna have a good night. Now you're just gonna drag that into it.
We're not gonna talk. We're gonna stick to the football. We're not gonna talk about the regular American football. So Zach, continue, please.
3-0 was their last matchup. 8-2 was the matchup before that. 3-2 before that. Yeah, not good.
Not good.
We've had a whirlwind of coaching changes all over. Stevie G has come home to the Premier League, albeit not at Liverpool. He's gone to Aston Villa, and he
is matching up against Liverpool this weekend.
He does play Liverpool this weekend, and it's
in Anfield.
It's at Anfield, yeah.
That's going to be a massive game right there.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that,
to put the context for Trav, who was our Spurs fan, think of Tim Duncan coaching Charlotte, and y'all playing the Spurs this weekend.
Come on, man. It's like, oh man. At San Antonio or at Charlotte?
At San Antonio.
At San Antonio.
Oh man, dude.
Yep. Yeah.
That's cold.
The greatest player in Liverpool's history, arguably.
One of your top 5
Easy.
in Liverpool, easy.
Probably top 3.
Coming back to his home team to play against them, but he's coaching. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would dare say that he might get a result there. Do you know how much that would piss off Liverpool fans?
They would be so heated.
Like, how do you react to that? Do you scream and get mad and cuss him out, or do you say, well, at least it was Stevie?
Yeah, I don't even know how I would feel about that.
Like, it's the same way I feel if Frank ever coaches in the Premier League again.
Is this like the same situation somewhat like I think I was watching the story deal and it's like the Arsenal dude he played for one
Sol Campbell.
It went there and they booed the brakes off him.
Yeah. That was Sol Campbell, right?
Yeah, Sol Campbell
went to Tottenham.
Was a long-time Tottenham player.
Yeah.
Right.
And then left Tottenham on a free. Arsenal.
Because he said he wasn't going. He wasn't going for sure. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Next
yeah.
thing you know,
He looked at the camera. He lied to the camera.
Yeah. And Tottenham was like, and I took that personal.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
But just a quick roundup. I know that the Premier League has a new table leader.
They do. Yes, they do. I'm glad you mentioned
for the first time since I think September.
It's the first time we've been in front this whole season since we listed the trophy last year.
I'm not going to say that the game in West London was bullshit.
But
somehow a cross ended up in the back of the net without touching any other player. I'm not naming any names, you bubble blowing bitches.
Some people tried to convince me that actually was intentional. No. I was like, come on, dude. There's absolutely no shot that he meant to kick it like that and it to like bend like this around and back into it. Like that was absolutely a cross. He mishit that and got lucky.
There are very few players in the league today that I would say that is an actual shot on target.
Yeah,
I don't even remember his damn name.
He ain't one of them.
But he ain't one of them. I mean, I'm gonna look up his name now because it's gonna piss me off. Oh yeah, Masuaka, Arthur Masuaka. Who?
I don't know.
Trav's Liverpool is back in second place at 34 points in the Premier League on a nice run of form. And with that interesting result in West London, Chelsea is now dropped down to third. However, it's a very close race. And the goal differential, if you look at the Premier League table, Man City is at 23 to the good. Liverpool's at 32 to the good. And Chelsea are at 26 to the good. And then it drops way down to West Ham, who's in fourth place. They're 9 to the good. So it's pretty clear which three clubs are the cream of the crop in the Premier League. And I'm hoping, we had talked about this in the group chat, that this continues like this, where it's this close throughout the rest of the season. So it will bring a lot of excitement. And then all these individual matchups where Chelsea plays Man City and Liverpool plays Chelsea and Liverpool plays Man City. Those games are going to mean so much. They're going to be so
6
intense.
Pointers.
It's going to be such a big deal. So I'm hoping that these three teams stay healthy as they are currently, get a little bit better health from Chelsea because they're missing several guys right now, but maintain that so we can get a real legit 3-team title race because we haven't had that in a little while.
I think it would be remiss though to not give credit where credit is due. Antonio Conte has maybe righted the ship for Tottenham. They are starting to hit form.
3 straight wins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ralph Ragnick, Man United's new coach. We miss you, Ollie. Please come back. He got his first win for the Red Devils.
It was a 1-0 win over Crystal Palace, though.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I was trying to be nice, man. Like you got to be a dick just because they're your cross city.
I mean, I'm just saying it was Crystal Palace, so they're all hyping like, "Oh, we were pressing so well and maintaining possession." Cool.
Hey,
it was Crystal Palace. You're Manchester United.
Don't
do
knock.
That. So let's
don't
not
knock
get
Patrick
all.
Vieira like that.
Hey,
That
it is
man's
what
a
it
legend.
is.
You
I
know,
love Patrick Vieira. I love that. You know I do. I picked him for my Premier League best 11 of all
Yes,
time.
you did. Yes, you did.
It's pretty clear. It's those 3 teams and then everybody else. Like the gap between those three and the rest of the league it's miles. I mean, shout out to West Ham for being in fourth because nobody here, but it's Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, and then the rest of us are kind of here.
Fighting for one spot.
Yeah.
As of right now. A lot can change.
Ronnie, you're only 4 points out of Champions League football right now.
I was actually gonna get to the next because I think that they're actually playing much better football. And I mean that completely honestly. They are. Don't look at me like that. They are playing better football.
TVs.
Two different TVs.
We have 2 different TVs, 2 different matches.
The problem is you have a striker who doesn't want to play striker anymore. He just wants to collect checks.
That's one.
And you don't have anyone to replace him.
What's the deal with Lacazette? Is he injured or is he just deciding he's not playing because he don't want to be there no more?
The issue with Arsenal, and we're not going to spend too much time on Arsenal. 7th place team. But I can see the issue that we have, apart from you have Aubameyang's fall off, but we have a awful midfield,
which is crazy.
Awful. I don't know what Thomas Partey we bought. I don't know. I think we bought his brother.
You bought AliExpress. Wish Thomas Partey.
We bought him up. We definitely bought him off Wish.
His actual name is Party Thomas. It's not Thomas Party.
He bought him off Wish.
He's been not what he is. We needed another midfielder. We needed 2 midfielders this past summer. And we got Lokonga, who mysteriously doesn't play now. For whatever reason, he's benched him like 2 matches in a row for whatever reason. So we're not good. Like,
is Smith Rowe a winger or is he a midfielder?
I don't know.
Because when I first saw him, I thought he was your traditional like number 10 creative midfielder, but he almost seems like, and I don't know if this is an English thing because I noticed it with Jack Grealish, I noticed it with Mason Mount, like they've pushed them to the wings.
They do that with Phil too.
Yeah, and Phil's a great example of it. Like they push these uber talented creative midfielders to the wings, and I don't understand it.
It is something that you will see as, our uninitiated, our new initiated. The styles of the leagues are so different. And in England, they essentially don't play with number 10s anymore. They just don't. Like, nobody plays with that traditional 10 playmaker. So your Fodens, your Grealishes, your Mounts, your Emile Smith Rowe are now all of a sudden wingers. And in the Emile Smith Rowe's case, he's number one, he's relied on too much, but he's not quick enough or tricky enough to consistently beat people.
Yeah.
A good dribbler, but he's not going to scare you with his pace, strength. And no, but so
he's still young though.
Answer your question, and that's the other issue. He and Saka, their roles are too important in the team. They're too young for what they're being asked to do.
Yep.
Around them, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Partey, Granit Xhaka.
Jesus.
The
fact players, that you still pay him blows my mind.
Who?
Granit Xhaka.
The fact that he's important is terrible. For real.
No, you're absolutely right.
But the fact that he's important is terrible. God.
Because there's nobody behind him that provides anything. And so this is why Arsenal are part of that next group. So we are going to so don't let Zach and Joe fool you all like they're only 4 points. Don't fool about at all.
Oh my God.
But to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
point difference between 6th and 17th is 11 points.
Right.
Which is absurd. Like that is really tight.
You got Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea beating the hell out of everybody else, and then they draw with each other.
Mm-hmm. The team I am really interested to see what happens with, because they are trending in the wrong direction real quick. Albeit, I know this might be touchy for you, Ronnie. Leicester City.
Yeah, that has been poorly.
Wow. And I don't know, and I hate to do this because this is, it's not in poor taste, but it's just rehashing old wounds. Ever since their owner died in that horrific helicopter crash, the entire organization has just been a shell of its former self.
They've had that. They've sold guys. They haven't replaced people. So I think this is kind of the end of the road for that group. I mean, you could only lose. I mean, not that. I mean, we talk about Harry Maguire and his being way overpriced, but you lose Maguire, you lose Riyad Mahrez.
Hey,
you said
N'Golo Kante.
Conte.
You lose Conte. They've lost
Ben Chilwell.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Chilwell.
That's half of your starting lineup of your champion, your winning team.
Like they lose a major player off their team every year.
And truthfully, Jamie Vardy should have left 3 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie is like 72 years old.
And he's still going to win the freaking Golden Boot.
So they probably are due for a remake of that team. Probably very soon. I think Brendan Rodgers probably going to go.
He's going to coach Man United.
I'd take Brendan.
I know you would.
If Brendan wants to manage Arsenal, I'll take Brendan. But
all right, I got another name for you. Very familiar. Very familiar. Do you think Patrick could take the step?
It depends on how this year goes.
Are you saying that Crystal Palace is going to finish higher than Arsenal?
I think
and he wouldn't leave.
I think if Crystal Palace were to finish anywhere near Arsenal, you will hear the calls for Vieira to come to Arsenal.
I think it's overdue. I think he's proven that he can coach at this level.
So that could happen. But I also think, man, our team, our talent on our team is massively overrated. Massively overrated.
Like, you guys should bring back Willian.
Okay, so now let's not be. Come on. All right, Zach. All right.
All right. I was gonna say another name, but I won't say that one.
Go ahead.
Well, Sideshow Bob. David Luiz.
David Luiz. I hate that dude. Oh my God, I hate that guy.
Trav, do you have a stream right now?
I'll go.
I need to mute them.
Yeah, it's like partner take.
Yeah, hey.
So let me ask
you button.
About some interest. Let's talk about Chelsea and Man City. Interesting football. What is maybe not the player, because you know that the January transfer is coming up. The rumors are starting. Maybe not if you know the player, say it. What position would you like bought in January to solidify your title run, Champions League hopes, etc.? What position and or player?
See, this is tricky for Chelsea because Chelsea's needs right now are different than what I want. Because we have too many damn midfielders who are hurt right now. So that alone pretty much makes our decision as far as what would happen in the January window. But I would like to see a center back, especially if the rumors are true and Rudiger has already agreed to a contract with Real Madrid, then bring the player that you want in now, if feasible, and start now. Build that line. I talked with Joe about this the other day. Chelsea have four center backs right now who are out of contract next year. Thiago Silva, Andreas Christensen, Rudiger, and Azpilicueta. Now, Rudiger's supposedly already signed a pre-contract with Real Madrid. Azpilicueta is getting really hard looked at by Barcelona because they can get him on a free. Christensen is dragging his feet on the contract that's been on his desk for 3 damn months. You greedy prick, sign the thing. And then Thiago Silva is 37 years old. And albeit he's playing at an exceptional level for as old as he is, you need to bring in the future. And so they tied up Chalobah, and he's going to be one of those three in the center. But you're gonna see one of two names in a Chelsea uniform next year. Although, if the rumors are true, we also signed Attila the Killer, a Danish center back, really, really young. I can't remember his last name, but his first name is Attila. So I'm going to call him Attila the Hun or Attila the Killer. But I really think you'll either see Jules Koundé, who they went hard after from Sevilla, who I really, truthfully, I don't want because he's very limited in where he can play in a back three. The name that I want Chelsea to sign, who they will absolutely not get in January, but they can get in the summer, is Matthias de Ligt.
Uwe.
Joe, what about you?
That's the name.
We're in a tricky spot because the only place that we need any legit reinforcements is at striker. And there's really one name on the striker market that we want and I would like to see, and that's Haaland. And that's not going to happen until the summertime. So if we were to move for someone in January, the most likely candidate is the guy I've been mentioning to you guys before, and me and Zach kind of differ a little bit because he's a little not as high on the guy as others are. But Dusan Vlojovich from Fiorentina, he scored 13 goals in 16 matches this year in Serie A, and last year scored 21 times for them as well. So he is also a young guy. But if we go for him in January, it's a very good chance that Haaland is not coming in the summertime. So it's like, do we strengthen that position where you might need a little help now, or do we play the waiting game and hopefully put Haaland at the forefront of our wish list? So we're ripe with wingers. We have plenty of midfield talent to play there. Maybe a little bit of reinforcement at left back so Cancelo doesn't have to play there every single match, because there is a bit of a drop off defensively when Zinchenko comes in and has to play. He provides a lot going forward. He put in a beautiful cross for us today to get the one goal that we had against Leipzig. But it's tricky because we could use a little more clinical finishing up front, but I know they really want Erling Haaland, and that one is one we're going to have to wait on until January or until the summertime, because he's not going to move mid-year.
Now, Dortmund's in Europa, correct?
They are.
Yes.
Yep. Officially
today.
You don't think if you really threw the money out there in January, so you figure they're going to Europa. We know Bayern's gonna win the league by 1,000 points by February. You don't think if you just went there in January 1 and just said, look,
I would love to throw that 80, 90 million at him right
just
now.
throw it out there and just
You
see what happens.
better bump that number up.
But Dortmund, I don't think it's going to come off of him. If they wanted to do that and take the cash, they would have done that in the summertime.
Can they register him though?
I don't think we would be able.
I don't think you'd be able to register him
For the rest of the season.
Well, you could probably in the Premier League.
No, I mean,
I know. For the Champions League, I don't think you'd be able to register him though.
We were able to do that for Laporte when we signed him a couple of years ago. So it just depends on but his club I don't think played in the Champions League during the group stage. So that would be a tricky situation.
That's interesting because I know that was the big talk of the town with Saul. They were saying that they were going to ship his ass back to Atletico Madrid, which isn't happening, especially given our conundrum in midfield right now. But
gonna need him tomorrow.
Yeah, no shit. The rule was that he would not be able to register if he went to a new team. That
had played in the Champions League already.
So
that would be my guess.
Interesting. As far as Dusan Vlojovich goes, you can either buy the Mercedes-Benz Erling Haaland, or you can buy the Wish Matchbox car and Dusan Vlojovich. He's good. Like, he is good. He's a good striker. Good strikers are a dime a dozen, though, and especially in the Serie A.
Don't get me wrong.
Look at Tammy Abraham right now for Roma. Looking like a man possessed.
Like I said, I would much prefer just rolling with what we got and then going all in on Haaland in the summertime.
That's going to really suck when you guys don't get him.
Ha!
Although I did find it really interesting now that, and this is by no means speaking it into existence because I'll be really annoyed if that happens, with Man United's appointing of Ralph Rangnick and him keeping that consulting role. I know that Ralph and Erling's father are very good friends, so I wonder if that would have any play at all. Now, I know that obviously his father played for City, so those ties are deep as well. But truthfully, I think he's going to end up in Spain. I really think when it's Real, he'll end up in Madrid. And that front line is going to be disgusting because it's going to be Haaland, Vinicius, and Mbappe.
I would agree with that if this was like a year or two down the road, but with Benzema still there, I don't think he's going to go there to share time with Benzema.
Well, they thought that there was going to be issues when they signed Eden Hazard and what was Jovic from Frankfurt. They all thought that they were gonna cut into Benzema's time. So I think they will find a way for him to play. But if not,
speaking of Eden,
he's coming back to Chelsea.
Bring Eden back
bring his ass back.
He has no business being in Spain.
Obviously, this helps Chelsea, which is not good for anybody on this panel. But you know what? Some people just belong in certain places. I'm all for Eden coming back.
Did you hear his price?
What is it?
21 million.
Oh, Roman got that under his couch.
Yes.
Roman got 21 under his couch.
I think they released the final amount of what Real had paid Chelsea for Eden Hazard 2 years ago, with all the add-ons and everything, and they did indeed eclipse the $108 million. So to get him 2 years later for $21 million, especially if you have the likes of Hakim Ziyech leaving or a Timo Werner, who, from what I'm hearing, is a prime candidate for the soon-to-be new opening in Borussia Dortmund, which would be a good fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. But if you have players like that leave, I have no issues with Eden Hazard resting up and getting matches when he can. There are far worse options to have on your bench.
Especially if it looks like this title race is going to be as close as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Eden, for whatever you want to say about Eden is a big match player.
Mm-hmm.
Eden has been there and done that, winning titles. He's loved at Chelsea. He knows the league.
He excels in the league. More importantly,
excels in the league. To me, if you tell me Eden comes back and plays 3 out of every 5 matches, we kind of bring him along slowly, that he's ready to play April and May. If I'm Chelsea, yeah. Mm-hmm. Eden is one of my favorite non-Arsenal Premier League players ever. Yep. Eden is just, he's something else. Eden when he's right.
Truthfully, Eden Hazard is the reason that I follow Belgium as much as I do now. I've made no mistake about it. Michael Ballack is always going to be my favorite Chelsea player. But I'll be damned if Eden Hazard isn't literally right there. 1A, 1B kind of situation. So good. So good. Come home, Magic
it's
Man.
crazy. It's crazy how one player can draw you into either a national team or a club team like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in soccer, it's crazy to me. Like in basketball, I guess it's kind of similar. Sometimes people just follow a player around or whatever. But like in soccer, like it draws you into a club or a national team, and it really pulls you like your emotions into that club. So that's what Aguero did for me too. So I'm right there with you.
And Eden is he's somebody who can just pull something out of nothing. Whether it's an assist, whether he dribbled past 3 people, he's with the ball at his feet, man. He's magic. And if I'm Chelsea, I feel like we need another option to kind of go toe to toe with City and Liverpool, because City and Liverpool are gonna score 2-3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
You need more. We need this little bit of firepower, a little bit more creativity.
There is only one other player on Chelsea's roster right now that can do similar things to what Eden Hazard does, like style-wise. And it would be fantastic for this player, for all of us, to have him teach him on a weekly basis. Because the closest thing to Eden Hazard that Chelsea currently have is Christian Pulisic. And if you can get those 2 players on the same pitch every single day, training and learning from each other, and now, I mean, what is Christian going to teach Eden Hazard? But, in some degree he will. So I when I found out that they were willing to sell him for $21 million, I damn near sent Roman the check myself.
Do it.
I do. I would.
In a heartbeat.
21 in this era of football. 21
that's
is like
nothing.
Nothing. This is zero. That's
especially if you don't have the pressure to come back and to come and contribute right away.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be a 3-horse race. I don't expect too much to happen in January, because January kind of not the biggest. It's not a whole lot. But I think for a title contender like the 3 of you all are,
you will absolutely see all 3 of these teams make some move in some way, shape, or form. I'm hearing that Chelsea might bring one of their left backs that they have out on loan back due to Ben Chilwell being out for the considerable future, to help solidify that, because right now we've seen, just in the 2 games since Chilwell's been out, we've seen Marcos Alonso play there. Christian Pulisic has played there. Callum Hudson-Odoi has played left wing back. And that's not what I want. Like, I don't want to see that on a regular basis. It's okay late in the game if you want that extra attacking player to play there because they're good enough to defend. But I'll be damned if I see Christian Pulisic or Callum Hudson-Odoi start in
Left
that
wing
position.
back
I'll be real upset.
in a big match.
Yeah.
Not what you're looking for.
No.
I think Liverpool, from watching from today, could they use somewhat like some midfielder / striker? They need some. They need an aggressor. They need somebody. They need somebody that can push the tempo. Know what I mean?
First of all, Trav, you've been watching a lot of football and you haven't been saying anything because you're about 4 for 4 on the comments today. Number one. But you are absolutely right. They need a creative outlet in midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I know who it's not going to be.
Quit trying to make that man be stale so you won't have to get away from him. But yeah, you want a big price from him, man. Come off that, man. Come off that.
Mm-mm.
Come off of it, man.
But in all seriousness, Liverpool better start their contingency planning now because their front three is aging quick. They're on the wrong side of the hill for players. And it's not that they won't be able to compete at a very high level for a number of years, but they're not Cristiano Ronaldo in the fact that they treat their body like it's a temple, and
yeah.
I don't see them all playing till 37, 38, especially in the Premier League. Your body takes a beating.
Yeah.
So Liverpool better come up with some contingency planning. Because
Come on, LeBron James, do something, man. Come on, LBJ. I don't care about you at the Lakers. Come on, find something, man.
Make him suit up, put him in midfield.
No.
LeBron be a hell of a defensive midfield, boy. Jeez.
Put him at center back. Maybe a wall. Him and Virgil van Dijk.
Nobody getting by that.
Nah, Liverpool. You right though, Trav. Liverpool could use another
depth. They need some depth signings just to make sure that they can rotate players a little bit more during the busy time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they miss, and granted, it's easy because results don't really show it. But from what I've watched at Liverpool, I really think they miss Giorgio Wijnaldum. He was that creative spark, and I know they brought in Thiago Alcantara, but Thiago is not the same creative player. They haven't had a creative midfielder like that since Cesc Fabregas.
That's true.
I'm sorry, I was thinking of Arsenal, but they need that type of creative midfielder. Like,
they need somebody between the defense who can come get the ball from the defense and push it forward, which is what Wijnaldum was really good at.
That link up play.
Coming to get it from the defender and pushing it.
Right.
They rely a lot on getting through balls from deep in the midfield up to Salah and Mane, and letting them just run by people and run at people.
Yeah, that's what I seen today. Like it's like, how most of the time you either look up and get the ball and then you get a break instead of getting that creator. They can break it down and then go on a break to make that pass and then go. They need that guy. They need that creator.
They had him. They let him walk.
We need everything. I think any position at this.
We'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
A good manager for you guys would be, in all seriousness.
Watch yourself, Zach.
He's still
crazy.
No, he's in London right now. David Moyes.
I mean, at this
he would make a step up in stature of club. I'm sorry, West Ham, but let's face it. You were not
Call a
at that
spade
level.
a spade.
Yeah, you were not at the same level as what an Arsenal is. Even in the down years, I don't care if they finished higher than them in the table. Like that doesn't mean anything to me.
I'll take more. I'm open to. I'm open to suggestions on managerial options. I really am. David Moyes, cool with me.
Just ready for a change.
Cool with me.
Good
Ready
evening.
for something different.
You said what?
I said good evening.
Hey, good evening. Even though it was the right time to fire him when he got fired, but he had a worse team than what Arteta.
He did more with less.
Mm-hmm.
He did more with less, and so, and then he came back and beat us in the Europa last year for our troubles. Good evening is our hey. I'm not mad at good evening at all.
Well, fellas, you got any last parting shots?
No, I'm just excited that we're the top 3 and let's get this thing going, man. Let's see.
You need to watch that match this weekend.
Oh yeah. If it pops up on my phone or whatever, I'm gonna watch it.
It should. It's that's a return of the chosen one. So that'll be a good match for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie, you got anything?
I would just say to our newly uninitiated, the Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City are going to play musical chairs with the top 3, pretty much for the rest of the season. So if you're a fan of any of those 3 clubs, if you're in third this week, don't panic. You'll probably be in first in 2 weeks. If you're first this week, don't get too high. You'll probably be in third in 2 weeks. I think those 3 teams are just going to continuously play musical chairs. Now, I would tell you a managerial change to watch for. Zach's guy is in trouble in Italy. Jose.
No, he's fine.
Jose's in trouble. I feel like Jose's not going to last a year.
No.
Clip this up. Ron's early predictions for 2022.
Hold on. Now you got me.
My man Jose don't last a year. That's my early 22 prediction.
We're not on great form.
My man Jose doesn't last a year. It's not 2004. It's not 2007. So that's my early prediction. Joe, Zach, y'all party shots before as we in 2021.
You don't see me wearing red too often on this show, but I am tonight because I'm repping my daughter's U11 Fireballs shirt. We are the Severn Fireballs, and we got futsal going on, and they have not lost yet in a new type of game for them on Sunday mornings. Shout out to the parents of this team, because this weekend our game is at 7:30 in the morning on a Sunday. So I will be up at 6 o'clock getting all ready for some futsal, which is indoor soccer on a small scale for those who are unaware. So I'm rocking the red. I'm rocking the red today for the U11 Severn Fireballs.
7:30. No, don't like that.
Sunday, wait a minute, 7:30 on Sunday morning.
Yes, sir.
Don't they know that's God's day?
What an odd time.
Somebody put that schedule because they want to watch NFL.
The
The
place that hosts all these futsal games is the only place that really has the facilities for this. So everybody in our county plays there, from like my youngest daughter's age from like 7 all the way up to like 18 and up.
Okay.
So they got to fit games in from so there's like games at 10:30 at night for the older kids.
They run.
So it's like all day long.
They run a round robin over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my Sundays are My Sundays are full up with futsal now because my daughters both play. So
Okay. Shout out to the Fireball. Let's
the
go.
Fireballs. That's right. And it's very hard not to do the whiskey chant every time. Fireballs. Every time the 11-year-olds are on the soccer field.
How about this? Every time they score a goal, you take a shot of Fireball.
That might be frowned upon, but I could maybe, slip it in a little bit.
You gonna get joked put out the.
But I'm gonna say, hold up. In futsal, they score a lot because that game is back and forth quite a bit. So I would be.
I'm aware, sir.
That game.
Zach is trying to set you up for the.
Bring a Yeti along. A little bit in the cup. You'd be good.
All right. It'll be good times.
Yeah. The only thing I got is thanks everybody for tuning in. Hopefully the snow game in Russia tomorrow
Yes, I gotta see that.
goes well. I'm curious to see what midfield combination we got going on. Maybe Danny Drinkwater is going to come back. I don't know.
Drinkwater. I forgot he was even on the payroll.
He's not. We loaned him out.
Oh, yeah.
He's actually he's at Reading right now. But I was looking at the 20-man team that they took to Russia, and the amount of central midfielders that they have are few and far between. The choices are Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Sal.
Those are the two options, correct?
Yeah, that's
you were
it.
looking for another. You were
He was
looking
looking for something else.
I was trying to find another one. Unless you bring Mason Mount, and bring him down. I told Joe that I wouldn't be surprised to see Trevor Chalobah step up and maybe play in a Conte-esque holding midfield role.
And throw Reece James up there. He plays everywhere.
Do it. You could put. I'm telling you right now. You could put Reece James at right winger, and he would score goals.
Yeah.
Quality.
You could. I'm telling you. Sell Hakeem Ziyech. He's not needed at this team. I don't need him. I don't want him.
Boy, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I appreciate you fellas for always joining and talking the beautiful game with me, though.
Absolutely. The draw is Monday, so Monday tune in. I don't know what time it is.
Probably gonna be the crack of dawn. They always do it early.
6 a.m. It's always 6 a.m.
Super early. So if you up early on Monday morning, the Champions League round of 16, this is where, with all due respect to the group stage, this is where it gets fun. When we get to double leg elimination,
no away goals.
No, is no away goals still?
No away goals.
Yeah. This is when it gets full. So definitely make sure Stoppage Time FC is the Facebook group. Scen is the Facebook page. Scen is the YouTube channel. Shout out to Trav, who's clearly been watching footy over the last couple months.
Someone's watching a Corona commercial too. I heard it. I heard it.
Shout out to the Corona commercial. And Stoppage Time FC, Joe, Zach, Trav, signing out.